Hello again. I'm making another video of a movie review tonight. It's June 27, 2013. It's about 10 minutes after 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and tonight I'm doing a review on a sports movie, and it's kind of a sports movie for kids in particular. Um, when I was very little, I saw this movie, and I really liked it. I would say that it was probably one of my favorite sports movies when I was a kid, but unfortunately that has changed. There are a lot of other sports movies that I like now, and this is definitely not one of them. It stars Emilio Estevez, and it's a hockey movie, and it's called The Mighty Ducks. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen it. There are a lot of people that are huge fans of this movie, and unfortunately I'm not one of them. I did like this movie when I was very young and it first became a film, and I did like it for many years after that, but it just doesn't appeal to me very much anymore, and right now I just can't kind of think, looking back on it, that it's just a very ridiculous film. I would say, in my opinion, that this movie is a classic for kids. To kids, this movie's a classic, but to adults, not at all. That's just my feeling, though. If you're an adult and you like this movie, hey, that's great, but I just don't feel that way. So I would say there are a lot of reasons why I didn't like this movie. One of them being that I played hockey in high school, and I mean, I may not know much about Pee Wee hockey, but I will say that this type of hockey that I saw in this film was just completely non-realistic in every aspect. I remember there was a game in particular. I think it was the first game that the Ducks team played, and they got beat by a very high score. I believe it was by their rivals. So I think that was their first game. Not as the Ducks. I think they started out as some number or something like that. They didn't have a team name yet. But the first game that they played, they got beat by a high score. And really, in a sense, you want to say, how could they let a game like that go on after such a high score? It just doesn't make sense. You would think they would call the game after a certain point, even if it's Pee Wee hockey. So I found that to be kind of ridiculous. I would say also there were a lot of, as far as hockey goes, there were a lot of illegal checks, a lot of illegal hits, and I remember their high-scoring player, Adam Banks was his name, got hit and knocked down and injured, and from what it looked like, a type of hit like that, when you injure a player sort of intentionally in the way he did, you don't just get a misconduct for that. You could literally get thrown out or suspended in some ways. I mean, just especially for Pee Wee hockey, I mean, you can't. That should not be allowed in Pee Wee hockey by any means. So I found that to be silly, and just a lot of it was just too. This movie was made by Disney, and I just found it to be too kiddie, too ridiculous, and even the jokes, the dialogue, and everything just wasn't funny to me. I mean, I suppose when I was a kid, there were a lot of things that I did find funny about it, but as you grow older, you just kind of look at it and think, this is silly. It could have been made into the type of movie that could be made for all audiences, but it just wasn't to me. I found that also in the film, this is also hockey related, I found a lot of their practices to be kind of silly. Silly ways to practice and prepare for games. Even if you're in Pee Wee's, you shouldn't do things that are just not going to teach you the fundamentals of the game. There's a lot of things you need to learn, and the ways that they were taught, it's just, I don't know. I didn't find it interesting whatsoever. So, Emilio Estevez is obviously the star of the film. He plays the coach, and he's been in some great movies, but I just think for a role like this, it's kind of difficult to really become the perfect coach. Becoming that character it just didn't seem like he was very proper as a coach. I just didn't find him to be believable whatsoever, in my opinion. And I can't really say much else about the film because in a lot of areas of the film, like cinematography and set design and directing, you just can't really put your finger on a lot of things because it was just so ridiculous and so silly that just you never look for those sorts of things with a movie like this. So Would I say to avoid this movie at all costs? Probably not, but especially if you're a kid. Kids probably shouldn't, because they would probably like this film and probably get interested in the sport, probably be inspired by it, maybe. Um, do I think that this film probably would influence their decision to play hockey? I don't know, but probably, but probably not. I don't know. But as far as adults go, I can't see anybody really finding this movie to be entertaining right now. If you're an adult and you do, well then great, good for you. But to me, this film just does not appeal to me whatsoever. Definitely not anymore. Not like it used to. So that being said, for a star rating from 5 to 1, I'm gonna have to unfortunately give this movie about a 2.5, because I just can't recommend this movie to anybody really, other than probably kids. If kids want to see it, that's their thing. I may not even recommend it to kids. I'll just leave it up to kids to decide whether they want to see it or not. So, yeah, 2.5 out of 5 for that movie. So, a low one tonight. So anyway, I'll be posting another movie review soon. Keep watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll post one again soon. Thanks.